Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Tuesday, October 30th. Tomorrow is Halloween, and a week from today is the election. It'll all soon be over, but hopefully not, like over. And I know it's me being a dork, but a weekday with the U.S. financial markets closed is like something that should be a holiday, and if it isn't, well, it's just a weird day. And for that reason, what about the U.S. financial markets? Yesterday was the first time in 27 years that the stock market and other financial markets closed for a weather-related issue. And if you take a look at today, being the second day the U.S. financial markets are closed, it's the first time that they've been closed 2 consecutive days due to weather since the 1880s. Pretty significant. More significant, perhaps, is the economic toll. The damage from Sandy is likely to be greater with regard to the actual impact on the economy than it is the actual damage done. Early estimates, and who the heck knows, but the early estimates are anywhere $10 to $20 billion worth of damage. That in and of itself would make it one of the more devastating storms in terms of damage, but nowhere near the territory of an Andrew or certainly a Katrina. But what it could do in terms of the damage from the U.S. financial markets being shut down and the greater economy in that area at large could be much bigger. Just the U.S. financial markets being closed for a day, $10 billion. $10 billion. There's $20 billion of negative damage just through today, without the rest of the economy being affected in that area, and assuming that we do get the U.S. financial markets open again tomorrow, which is anticipated. Let me stay in the thought of the financial markets for a moment. The election is a week from today. So what is the groundwork of the financial markets going into this election and the outcome? Well, I'll give you my thoughts, and I'll also give you the prevailing thought of some analysts. You do now see a majority of analysts and Wall Street firms that are more or less counting on two things. One, the fiscal cliff being resolved. 87% of analysts are assuming that we're not going over the fiscal cliff. So if we do, well, that's a really bad day. And the other is that a majority of Wall Street firms did back Romney this time rather than Obama from 4 years ago. The net effect of this is, if Mitt Romney wins the election, you're likely to see a stock market shoot higher for a number of reasons, but most notably, there is a belief that there will be resolution of the fiscal cliff. And remember, Mitt Romney's tax policy includes the elimination of taxation on capital gains and dividends for those making under $200,000 a year, families making under $250,000 a year. Those are some very big reasons for the stock market to move. Meanwhile, if Romney wins, you're likely to see commodities prices, most notably gold and silver, head lower. Greater economic stability, greater stability in the U.S. financial markets at large would mean lower commodities prices. So Romney wins, good for the stock market, sell-off likely in gold and silver. If Obama wins, you're likely to see the inverse. You're likely to see the stock market head south. You're likely to see gold and silver prices tick up. So depending upon the outcome, you might think about those types of considerations and prepare yourself as you deem necessary. All right, Apple. This was big. There are a couple things here. I mean, first, you heard about the head of the retail division gone after less than a year. That is less effectual, the part of a bigger story. But the software guy. The guy had been around since '97, actually behind the iOS operating system. So the guy who builds the operating system for all the Apple products, he's out. He's out now. And here's the reason. Dissension in the ranks. The stuff you have to worry about with Steve Jobs being gone. These guys don't necessarily, a lot of them that have worked alongside Tim Cook, in the case of the software guy, Forstall, he had actually been there before Tim Cook came to the company. They don't necessarily believe in answering to Tim. See, Tim had run the retail division, and he didn't like the way that was being run, so he axed the retail guy. Apple had become the most successful retailer per square foot in world history, but it's the software guy that was forced out of the company when he refused to sign an apology for the Maps app on the new iOS operating system. And for that, he's gone. And this is where you have to worry about the chinks in the Apple armor. Stay tuned to this story. Don't be surprised if Forstall doesn't end up at a competitor. Cheat sheet for today. Enjoy yours. See you tomorrow.